Okay. Now today topic is very important, guys. Can you please confirm? Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Okay. Thank you. Ah, so we know all these things. Yeah, today's session is very important. Let's concentrate on this. So what is testing? To ensure. Ensure means what? To make sure that whether the application is working as per the given requirements or not. Okay, so don't worry, they will provide the requirements. You need to check the requirements and you need to check the application is working as per the given requirements or not. You need to check. Okay, it's very easy, but you need to understand the requirements first. If you are not understand the requirements, we can't do anything. Okay, so first you need to go through the requirements. I will show you the requirement documents. Don't worry. We'll see when the project will comes, right. I will show you how the requirement documents will be there. Okay. So software testing is a process. The software testing is a process of what? Verification whether the project will be acceptable to the end user or not. So only one thing you need to remember: what are the project we are doing, right? What are the testing we are doing, right? Who need to accept that? End users need to accept that. So you always think like a end user point of view. Okay, so you not test like a developer is saying I'm doing the testing. It's not be like that. You always think like a end user. Suppose you are end user, you are using that application. So in real case, how end user will use that application, such a way you need to think the while you are doing the testing, right? In such a way you need to think. Okay, so this is one of the most important point. Software testing is a process of verification whether the project will be acceptable to the end user or not. If end user is rejected means we can't do anything. Okay, so we accept Amazon Prime because the people are accepted, right? Because it's very easy. Just you can give your phone number and click the subscription means, and within the month you can watch whatever the movies is released in the OTT we can watch, right? So we are accepted it, right? And people are accepted it. If the people are not accepted means no one will watch that thing, right? So that is one of the most important one. Okay, again there are two types of testing. There are two types of testing. One is what? Structural testing. Another is what? Functional testing. So what is structural testing and what is functional testing? What is meaning of structural testing and what is meaning of functional testing? So who will do the structural testing? Let's see all the things today. Structural testing, we can call it as what? White box testing. So what is called white box testing? Let's see. The testing is based on knowledge of internal logic. If you know the logic, if you know the application code, then what kind of testing you can do? White box testing. Now tell me guys, who knows the code and who knows the logic? Who knows the code and who knows the logic? Developer or tester?
Developer.
Developer.
Yeah, correct, right? Developer. So you can simply say that the white box testing is done by developer. So that is what he's saying. The testing is based on knowledge of internal logic. If you know the logic and if you know the application code, in that case, what kind of testing you will perform? Will perform white box testing. Why we can call it as it's a white box? Because the developer the developer can see the code. See, I'm able to see the code. This is class, this is the method. So the developer can see the code. Understanding, right? The white box is also known as what? Glass box testing. If you keep anything in the glass box, right, we can view that, right? So that's the reason they call it as what? Glass box. Interview, they will ask you, can you tell me what is open box? Open box means what? White box. Transparent box, what is transparent box? The transparent box is nothing but what? White box. Clear box, what is called clear box? The clear box is nothing but what? White box testing. So they call it as many names: transparent box, clear box, white box. box, open box, okay, glass box. Do you know glass box testing? Don't worry, yes, I know what is glass box testing. If you know the internal logic, if you know the application code, in that case we can perform white box testing. Generally the white box testing is done by developers. Now tell me, testing team is already there, right? Then why developer need to test that one? Can anyone, do you understand my question? Testing team is there, already there. Testing team is to test that application. That is what we learned yesterday, right? We need to check, make sure whether the application is working according to the client requirements or not. But why developer need to do testing here? Can anyone? Why developer need to do testing here? Is it required?
Identifying the bugs
Huh.
by
Even
developer.
we can also identify, right? Testing team is also identify the bugs, right? You are very near to that. Yes. Is anyone want
Actually,
to share?
both,
Hmm.
actually both, like something is different for both testers and developers, right? Actually, developers will do just basic testing.
Hmm.
We have to do each and everything.
Hmm. Good.
Actually,
Huh.
in their environment, they all have to check, right?
Yes, correct.
In developers environment, they have to
Hmm.
check everything is working
Hmm.
fine or not. Likewise,
Yes.
in our testing environment, we have to check everything.
Yes, correct. Excellent. Good. Yes. So, see, in future you can also become a developers or automation engineers, right? See, whatever you are writing the code or script, right? First, at least one time you need to check whether this code is working properly or not. Suppose suppose if I'm not do that unit testing, so simply as a developer I'm writing the code and more confidence, I have a more experience, I'm more confidence, I'm not checking anything, I'm just writing the code and I'm simply push to the code into the server. Okay. Okay, what will happen now? This code will be converted into in the form of build. Okay, I will explain you, don't worry what is build and all the things. Now this build will be assigned to whom? To the QA guy, right? So QA guy will be there. Now what will happen when you testing this code, right? This application, right? So what will happen? You will reject it because it is not working. So what will happen again? You will revert back to the developer. Again, developer is writing the code and he is not checking anything. Simply again he will check in into the code into the server. Again you are getting one more build. Okay, now again this code will push to the QA. Again you rejected. So see, this is what a continuous process, right? Because he is not checking anything, simply he is writing the code and he is sending to the QA, right? So this is not a good process, this is not a good approach. So whatever the developer writing the code, right, at least one time they need to check whether my code is working properly or not, before they sending to the QA team. Such kind of testing we can call it as what? Unit testing or a component testing. So unit testing is very very important, or a component testing is very very important. Okay, so at least one time you need to check whether your code is working properly or not. So whether my logic, whatever the code is written by me, it is working properly or not. At least I need to check at least one time whether the code is working properly or not. Understanding, right? The test based on the coverage of code statement, branches, path, condition. They always check whether the branches is working correctly or not, code statement is working correctly or not, path is working correctly or not, and conditions are, if condition for loop, all are working correctly or not. They will check from their end. Okay. So white box testing we can call it as what? A unit testing or a component testing belonging to what? White box testing. So if you know the logic, if you know the application code, then what kind of testing you can perform? You can simply say that white box testing. Okay, is it clear for everyone? So white box box testing is also known as clear box. See, clear box, open box, glass box, transparent box, and code based testing or a structural testing. Okay, that all we can call it as what, white box testing. If you want to perform white box testing means you need to understand internal structure and design and implementation. If you know all the things, then you can perform white box testing. But everyone know, right, who knows the code and who knows the logic? The development team, right? So always the white box testing is done by developers. And also they follow some techniques. See, control flow testing, data flow testing, branch testing, path testing, statement coverage, and decision coverage. So this all will be taken care by your developers. Okay, don't worry. Okay, so whenever they written some code, right, they will follow all the things, whether it is for control flow testing, data flow testing, and branch testing. Okay, and path testing, statement coverage, and decision coverage. Okay, so they will take care of all the things. Okay, is it clear, guys? So white box testing is done by developers. Is it clear? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Now coming to the black box testing, see, functional testing. We are what? Functional testers. We are what? Functional testers. So in interview they will ask you, we require functional testers. Functional testers is nothing but what? Black box testing. Okay. We are what? Functional testers. We can test any kind of application. Yesterday I told you, right? It is related to .NET application. I am ready to test. It is Python related application. We are ready to test. It is C sharp related application. We can test. Okay, because we never see the code. See, they never give any. They never provide any code to you. Suppose you are joining as a manual testers in that organization. They never provide any code. Okay, if you have zero knowledge, you don't know anything about the coding also, not a problem. You can happily test your application, because we never see the code. That's the reason they call it as it's a black box. What is the black box? If you keep anything in the black box, right, we can't see anything. So we never see any code. Okay, see, internal system design is not considered in this type of testing. Okay, you can write anything, like a developer can write with the java project we can test, python related project we can test, and .NET related project we can test, because we never see the code. Then how you will test? Can anyone? You don't know any code, then how you will test? How we will test, guys? The testing team is always based on what?
User and requirements.
That's it. Correct, right? We are, see, I don't want what code is written on that application. If they ask me to test the Amazon, means I don't ask what is the code is written for Amazon. Say suddenly they ask me to test Amazon application, so I'm not bothered about what code is it is, what is code is written from backend. I'm not asked all the things. Okay, I'm just asked, in this application, tell me the functionality and tell me the requirements, what I need to test in this. So they will provide what? They will provide what? Requirements. They will provide what? Requirements. And they will provide what? Functionality. Based on the requirements and based on the functionality, we need to test the application. It's very easy, right? It's very easy. No need to worry about all the things. Simply we need to, based on the requirements. What is the requirements? So they will provide the requirement. Simply they will provide the requirement one. Launch the browser, Chrome browser, and enter the valid URL and click enter. Okay. Requirement 2. Click on today deals. Today deals page should be. So I told you right, they will provide what requirements. Just you need to go through the requirements. Launch the Chrome browser. Just you need to launch the Chrome browser. Yes, you launch the Chrome browser. Now what you need to do? Enter the Amazon application. Okay, Amazon application. What you need to do here in the requirements is clearly mentioned that enter the valid URL. And what is next? Click enter. See, I'm doing what? Click enter. See, Amazon page is open. Now what is requirement 2? Click on today deals. Just click on today deals. What is your expected result? Today deals page should be. So it is working or not? So both requirements are working. So this is what we need to do in the real time. This is fast. This is what fast. Suppose when you click the today deals, right, you are not seeing the today deals page. You are getting some other page. Then it is the defect. Understanding, right? So the easy way you can test your application. So what is black box testing? The internal system design is not considered in this type of testing, so not required. What is written the code and all the things, okay? But how we will test that application? The test are based on requirements and functionality. What is requirements? Enter the valid URL, that is what requirement. Click on the click on, that is what functionality. Just enter the valid URL and click on enter button, like enter, right? That is what functionality. You need to check all the things, requirements and functionality. Understanding, right? Other than unit testing, remaining testing belongings to what? Black box testing. We are giving input and we are getting the output. How you know you are getting correct output or not? How you know you are getting correct output or not? Now you are giving some input and you are getting some output, right? How you know whether you are getting the correct output or not? Can anyone tell me how you know? You are giving some input and you are getting some output, right? How you know whether this is correct output or not? Can anyone? Do you understand my question? You are giving some input, right? And you are getting some output. How you know whether this is correct output or not? Can anyone?
We have to check with expected output.
Yes, correct. That is what requirements, right? We need to check with what? Requirements. How I know this? If you click the today deals, what is your expected result? Today deals page should be displayed. If it is not display, means that is a bug. Understanding, right? So that's the reason we always depend on what? Requirements and
Yeah.
functionality. You are giving simply input, you are getting some output, right? Now you got a doubt whether it is correct or not. Then what you need to do? You need to refer the requirements. You just follow the requirements. In the requirements is clearly mentioned that if you give this input, that output should be this. But output is you are not getting proper output, means then it is becomes a defect. Is it clear, guys? So the testing are two types. One is what? Structural testing. Another is what? Functional testing. So structural testing, we can call it as what? A white box testing. So white box testing is done by the developers. I told you, right? The white box testing is done by the developers. If you know the internal logic, if you know the logic and if you know the application code, then you can also perform the white box testing. But generally, you know, right? Who knows the logic and application code? Developers. So always the white box testing is done by the developers. And what about functional testing? Okay, functional testing is nothing but what? Black box testing. So black box testing, who will do? Testing team will do the black box testing. So here how we will test? Based on requirements and functionality. Other than unit testing means white box testing. Other than unit testing belongings to black box testing. Remaining all we can simply say that all are belongings to that black box testing. Is it clear, right? So this is one of the most important basic question interview. Can you define what are the testing types? Okay, you can say that structural testing and you can say that functional testing. Okay, is it clear, guys? Anybody have any questions so far? Yes or no?
No, sir.
Okay, good. Now, yeah, this is very very easy. Okay. Now that's the reason you can go with the experience. For the after this completion of this course, you can go with experience also, not a problem. So we follow some techniques. See, equivalency partition, boundary value analysis, cause effect graph. Okay, graphing, right? So we'll see this one in the project. Okay, when the project will comes, we will discuss. But I want to tell you one more important example here. BVA. What is called BVA? What is called BVA? Boundary value analysis. Now, I told you, right, how we will do the testing based on the requirements, right? So they will provide the requirements. Username, password, login. Now here the username. How many characters I need to enter? Anyone know? We don't know, right? How many characters we need to enter in the username? Even we don't know, right? In the requirement they will set that 4 to 15. So how you will test this one? What is your requirement? You need to enter the username. Like how many characters I need to enter? So I don't know, right? So what we need to do? I told you, right? We always refer the requirement specification document, right? So we need to check the requirement specification document. Here it is very clearly says that username take 4 to 15 characters. So how you will test this one? You will test 4 characters and 5 characters, like up to 15. So it will take lot of time, right? So what we can do here, we can use the technique we can call BVA. What is called BVA? Boundary value analysis. So what are the boundaries we have? Like 4 and 15, right? Otherwise you can take minimum value. What is the minimum value here? What is the minimum value? 4.
4,
What is, yeah, correct. What is maximum value?
15,
15. What is the range? 4 to 15.
15.
Yeah. Now simple technique you can use, minimum value minus 1. So what you can do is minimum value minus 1. So what is your answer here? 3. So 3 is valid one. ABC. Username I'm giving ABC. Is it valid or invalid?
No, sir, it's not valid.
Why? Why it's invalid?
Because minimum value is 4. So we
Yes,
have to
correct.
take from 4.
Yes, correct. So always you need to test like that. Take the minimum value is what? 4. 4 minus 1, 3. So if you enter the 3 characters, it should not allow. In case it is allowing means what? It is a bug. Understanding, right? It is a bug. The similar way, what is the maximum value here? 15, right? 15 plus 1. What is that value? 16. Give the 16 characters here. If 16 characters is what? Valid or invalid? 16 characters. If I give the 16 characters, it is valid or invalid?
Invalid.
Valid.
Invalid, right? So invalid it should not accept. In case it is accepting means what? It is the bug. So you can use the technique BVA, okay, boundary value analysis. You can remember 4 less than 1 or 15 greater than 1, whatever it may be. But no need to test all the things, 4 characters, 5 characters, 6 characters, 7 characters, 8 characters, like up to 15 characters. You no need to enter all the things. Okay, simply you can use the technique 4 minus 1, 3 characters. Just this is 3 characters you can enter. Okay, it should not allow. In case it is allowing means it is a bug. The similar way you can enter the 16 characters. Okay, it, you need to enter the 16 characters more than 15. Okay, then it should not allow. In case it is allowing means that is a bug. Understanding, right? This is what easy way to test your application. Some people will be there if they are not understand, they will enter 4 characters, they will enter 5 characters. No need to test all the things. Okay, in between also you need to test, like a range you can test 4 characters, or you can take any in between 4 to 15 characters. You can take anything, whether it is working or not, you need to check. So this is the way you need to test your application. Understanding, right? I will show you your requirement specification documents when the project will comes. I will show you, but it's very easy, guys. It's very easy one. Uh, yeah, I will show you one document for your understanding purpose. If you don't know anything, also you can join for testing, not a problem. But understanding the requirements, okay? We are offering the job and you are not going through the requirements, means then it is very difficult. Okay, first of all, you need to understand the requirement specification document. See here, it is very clearly mentioned that login page. So you will see the login page, and this page will have the fields like what, user ID and password. So you can easily understand, right? User ID will be there, password will be there. And in the document it is very clearly mentioned that if you enter the valid user ID, valid password, click on login. See, it is very clearly mentioned, click on login, enter this CEO user ID, like admin user ID, admin password, and it will take you what page? Admin home page. Simple, guys. If you don't know anything also, we can we can easily survey in the testing, but you need to understand the requirements. Okay, if you are not going through the requirements and you are blindly testing the application, means it won't work out. Okay, so in the requirement specifications is very clearly mentioned that what is the requirement specification, what is the requirement specification, what is the requirement specification. Hello, can you hear me, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, it is restarted the system.
Yes.
Okay, okay. Yeah, so where we are in, so they will provide you what requirement documentations. Okay, so based on the requirements we can test easily. Okay, so just you need to go through the requirement specification document. Based on the requirement specification documents you need to test the application. Is it clear, right? Anybody have any questions so far? So no need to worry about the requirements. Okay, that they will tell you what is the requirements. Okay, what we need to test in that application, and they will tell you. So based on that you need to test your application. See, here it's very clearly mentioned, right? Login with admin, and what page should come? Admin home page should come. If you log in with what branch manager, what page should come? Branch manager page should come. If you log in with agent, what page should come? Agent home page should come. If you log in with the customer, what page should come? Customer page should come. See, you can start testing today. Okay, in case they will provide the any document, right? You can start testing today itself. Understanding, right? So you only depend on what? Requirement specification document. Okay, so just go through the requirement document and try to understand what is the requirement specification document. Just work with that. Simply you log in with admin, what page should come? Admin home page. Log in with the branch manager, what page should come? Branch manager home page should come. Log in with the agent, what page should come? Agent home page should come. Log in with the customer, what page should come? Customer home page should come. And click on reset button, it will clear all the data. Understanding, right? So it's the easiest way to get into the testing side. Okay, but try to understand the requirements. If you are not understanding the requirements, we cannot test that application. Okay, is it clear, guys? Anybody have any questions? Yes or no? Is it clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So what are the testing types? Can anyone define? What are the testing types?
Two types of testing for white box testing and black box
Huh.
testing.
Hmm. So who will do the white box testing?
Developers will do white
Developer.
box testing
Developer will do. Why they need to do the testing?
because they know all the internal codings and all, logics
Hmm.
and all, so they will do the white box testing.
Yes. So interview they will ask you. So you can tell anything, not a problem, because they need to test at least one time. Okay, whether it is working properly or not. So what is the difference between? See, if you observe that, what is the difference between black box testing and white box testing? So black box testing will get what? Always the question mark. Okay, whether it is right or not, whether it is right or not. But how we can giving the confirmation whether it is right or not? Based on requirement.
Requirement.
You are giving, yes, you are giving input and you are getting
Requirements.
some output. Okay, yes, correct. You are giving some input and you are getting some output. Whether this output is correct or not, how you will confirm? Based on the requirement. If you observe that developer, right, he knows his output. Okay, he is giving that input and he also knows his output, and he always checking whether his logic is working properly or not. Okay, so this is mainly the difference between the testing and developer. So most of the people they ask, do we need to learn programming knowledge? For manual testing, not required any programming knowledge, zero knowledge, also fine. Just you need to go through the requirement documents. Okay, you just go through the requirement documents. If you are in good in the requirement documents, right, you can easily test. Okay, programming knowledge is not required. Implementation knowledge is not required. Requirement specifications, I told you, right? You need to understand the requirements. If you are not understand the requirements, right, you cannot test the application. So black box testing, guys, is required for what? Requirement specifications is very, very important for us. When you're talking about developer side, programming knowledge is required. Okay, implementation knowledge is required, and detailed designs they need to know. Okay, then only they can do the testing. Okay, now what is SDLC? Anyone know what is SDLC? What is called SDLC? SDLC is nothing but what? It is one of the
Software
most
development
important
process.
interview
Software
question.
development life cycle.
Software development life cycle.
Yes, yes, it is very, very important interview question. Any organization, you can go with any organization, they follow what? SDLC process. So what is SDLC? What is SDLC? SDLC is nothing but what? A software development
Development
life
life
cycle.
cycle.
Yeah, this is one of the most important one. See, when the project will come, right, a general question, when the project will come, right, what you will do first? What you will do? Simple question. When the project will come, okay, so what you will do, guys? You will start immediately testing.
Gathering the information.
Yes, correct, gathering the information. Good. That is required, right? First, what do you need to do? We cannot do immediately testing. That is
We are
very
going to
good.
analyze.
Analyzing the things. Good. First of all, what we need to do? Requirement gathering. Once we got the requirements, right, once we got the requirements, uh, so once we got the requirements, right, what we need to do? Based on the requirements, what you need to do? Analysis. What is called analysis? Whether we can do or not. That is also we need to check, right? I need to check whether you guys are do the testing or not. Without knowing, I cannot give to project to with you, right? First of all, we need to check analysis. So we need to check analysis means like resources, like a risk analysis, risk mitigation, risk strategy. There are a lot of things will comes on analysis. So whenever the project will come, right, we will not go directly to the testing. So first of all, we need to follow the SDLC process. What is called SDLC? Software development software development life cycle. And first, when the project will comes, what we need to do? First, we need to gather the requirements. Once we get the requirements, then we can go with the analysis part, whether we can do or not. That is one of the most important, right? Okay, once analysis part is done, then we will go with the design part. So designs is done. Screen first, home screen, like login screen, admin screen, like they will design the screens. Once the screen is done, okay, designs is done, then the development will be started. Once the development is done, then we will start with what? Testing. Okay, so after testing, once you give the confirmation the testing is done, then we go with the implementation. Once the implementation is nothing but a release. Once it is released the product in the market, right, then we will go with what? Support and maintenance. Once the product is launched in the market, then we will give what? Support and maintenance. Then simply interview question: in what phase you are involved in SDLC? So what is your answer?
Testing
In what phase?
phase.
In what phase you are involved in SDLC? What is your answer?
Testing phase.
Testing phase. Good.
Testing.
Excellent. Yes, testing phase. Understanding, right? So we are not bothered about requirement capturing, analysis, designing, coding. So this is we are not involved in all the things. We are only involved in where? In testing. So in testing also, I told you, right, they will provide the requirements and they will tell the functionality. What is meaning of testing? Check whether the application is working as per the given requirements or not. See how it is easy. Okay, so we will also enjoy our work. Okay, we are equal to work with the developers. Developers are implementing, but what we are doing, we are testing whether it is working as per the given requirements or not. Developer is writing the code, whether it as per the requirement they build the code. Understanding, right? As a testing team, what we are doing, we need to check whether it is working as per the given requirements or not. Okay, so don't worry, don't think that too much. We are not involving in the requirement capturing, we are not involved in analysis, designing part and coding part. We are just involved in where? In testing part. Once the development is done, then it will comes to the QA. You need to go through the requirements, understanding the requirements, and then you need to start your testing. Okay, so they will ask you, can you define what is SDLC means? You need to say that SDLC is the process followed for software project within a software organization. Okay, why we are using SDLC? To improving the quality of software. So without plan we can't do anything. You should have some plan, right? After manual, what I need to do? Automation. After automation, what I need to do? I need to go with APIs. Like, you should have some plan, right? After manual, I can go with manual jobs. After automation, I can apply for automation jobs. So you need some plan, right? So without plan we can't execute all the things. Okay, so SDLC is one of the most important one. It is a campus interview question. Definitely they will ask you, if you are in campus, definitely they will ask you this question, what is SDLC? Or if you are fresher, definitely they will ask you this question. But only one thing you need to remember, in what phase you are involved in SDLC means you are simply say that testing phase. But do not break this cycle. See, without requirement we cannot go with analysis. Without analysis we cannot go with the design. Without design we cannot go for the coding. Without coding we cannot do the testing. So it's a order. It's a cycle. You, in case anyone asks you to tell the SDLC means whatever you remember, you cannot tell like that. Testing, coding, designing, you cannot say like that. Okay, it should be in the order: requirement capturing, analysis, designing, coding, testing, and implementation. After implementation, what we are doing? We are going with support and maintenance. Is it clear, guys? So this is one of the most important interview question. You can say that planning, otherwise you can tell these words. Okay, planning. Okay, planning, defining, designing, building, testing, and deployment, the same words, but terminology is different. Okay, the same meaning, the terminology is different. Planning, we are planning. Once the project will come, what we need to do? We need to go with the planning. After planning, defining means analysis we do. Once analysis is done, then what we need to do? We can go with the designing phase. Once the design phase is done, then we can go with what? Building. Right, building is nothing but coding. Once the coding part is done, what we need to do? We can go with the testing part. Once the testing part is done, then we need to go with the deployment. Is it clear, guys? So this is one of the most important one. Tomorrow what we can do is, we'll see what testing team will do and what developer team will do, how project will comes to the organization, what are the document required, what are the documents is required, that we'll see then tomorrow. Okay, anybody have any questions so far? Are you able to understand? Is anybody have any concerns, any queries? Are you getting material and videos? Please check with the front office and collect all the things. Is it clear, guys? Anybody have any questions?
సో ఆన్లైన్ వాళ్ళకి మెటీరియల్ ఎలా వస్తుంది
జీమెయిల్ మీకు డ్రైవ్ ఇచ్చేస్తారండి, మీకు డ్రైవ్ యాక్సెస్ ఇస్తారు, మీకు డ్రైవ్లో యాక్సెస్ చేయడం.
ఓకే
మామూలుగా ఆఫ్లైన్ వాళ్ళకి కూడా మెటీరియల్ ఉండదండి. జస్ట్ మనం అంతా ఇప్పుడు మీకు పీడిఎఫ్ డాక్యుమెంట్స్ చూపెట్టాం కదా, ఈ డాక్యుమెంట్స్ ఇస్తారు మీకు.
ఓకే సార్
సో మీరు జస్ట్ రిఫర్ చేసుకుంటే సరిపోతుంది.
ఓకే సార్
అర్థమవుతుంది కదా అసలు ఓటీపీ. సో ఇట్ ఈస్
ఇంటర్వ్యూ క్వశ్చన్స్ కూడా ఏమన్నా ఇస్తారా సార్ ప్రిపేర్ అవడానికి?
అదే ఇప్పుడు మనం ప్రాజెక్ట్ వరకు వచ్చే వరకు, ఇప్పుడు రోజు ప్రతి టాపిక్ లోనే ఒక్కొక్క ఇంటర్వ్యూ క్వశ్చన్ తీసుకొచ్చండి. మీరే క్వశ్చన్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. మీరే ఒక చూడండి, వాట్ ఆర్ ద టైప్స్ ఆఫ్ టెస్టింగ్, అది ఒక ఇంటర్వ్యూ క్వశ్చన్. ఓకే, సో what purpose of doing the testing? So quality purpose. How you define the quality, justification of all the requirements. can you define what is positive testing and what is negative testing? So valid data. What is BVA? What is called BVA? Boundary value analysis. What is SDLC? So మీరు జస్ట్ మీరే క్వశ్చన్ చేసుకుంటే విల్ గెట్ లాట్ ఆఫ్ ఇంటర్వ్యూ క్వశ్చన్. బట్ ఫైనల్ గా మనం చూడొచ్చు ఎలా ఏ క్వశ్చన్ అడుగుతారు ఏంటని. ఓకే, ఇప్పుడు టాపిక్ తెలిస్తే మీకు అందులో ఏ క్వశ్చన్ అడిగినా మీరు చెప్పవచ్చు. వాట్ ఈస్ యూనిట్ లెవెల్ టెస్టింగ్, వైట్ బాక్స్ టెస్టింగ్. ఓకే, సో అలా ప్రిపేర్ అవ్వాలి మీరు ప్రిపేర్ అయినప్పుడు.
ఓకే సార్.
సో ఇప్పుడు మీకు పాజిటివ్ టెస్టింగ్ అంటే ఏంటి, నెగిటివ్ టెస్టింగ్ అంటే ఐడియా ఉంది కదా. సో పాజిటివ్ టెస్టింగ్ అంటే వ్యాలిడ్ యూజర్ ఇవ్వాలి, వ్యాలిడ్ పాస్వర్డ్ ఇవ్వాలి, దాన్ని ఏమంటాం పాజిటివ్ టెస్టింగ్ అంటాం. నెగిటివ్ టెస్టింగ్ ఎలా చేస్తాం, ఇన్వాలిడ్ ఇచ్చి చెక్ చేస్తాం, దాన్ని నెగిటివ్ టెస్టింగ్ అంటాం. టెస్టింగ్ టైప్ స్ట్రక్చరల్ టెస్టింగ్ అంటే ఏంటని అడుగుతారు. వాట్ ఈస్ స్ట్రక్చరల్ టెస్టింగ్? సో వాట్ ఈస్ స్ట్రక్చరల్ టెస్టింగ్? ద స్ట్రక్చరల్ టెస్టింగ్ ఈజ్ నథింగ్ బట్ ఏ వైట్ బాక్స్ టెస్టింగ్. సో టాపిక్ టు టాపిక్ మీరు ప్రతిదీ మీరు క్వశ్చన్ మీరు చేసుకుంటే ప్రతిదీ మీకు ఈజీగా అలవాటు అయిపోతుంది. అంటే ఏ క్వశ్చన్ అడిగినా మీరు ఇంటర్వ్యూలో చెప్పవచ్చు.
ఓకే సార్.
నేను చెప్తాను అది ఎలా ప్రిపేర్ అవ్వాలని. స్టార్ట్ ఒక క్వశ్చన్ అదే మీకు స్టార్టింగ్లో కెన్ యూ ఇంట్రడ్యూస్ యువర్ సెల్ఫ్ అండ్ టెల్ మీ అబౌట్ యువర్ రోల్స్ అండ్ రెస్పాన్సిబిలిటీస్ అండ్ ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ అబౌట్ యువర్ ప్రాజెక్ట్. సో అవి అడుగుతారు మిమ్మల్ని. సో అది ఎలా చెప్పాలన్నది మనం ప్రాజెక్ట్ వచ్చే ముందు అప్పుడు మనం చూద్దాం. బట్ బేసికల్గా మీ రోల్స్ అండ్ రెస్పాన్సిబిలిటీస్ ఏమేమి ఉంటాయో అన్ని మనం ప్రిపేర్ అవ్వాలి. నేను చెప్తాను. ఓకే ఓకే
Sir, can you create WhatsApp groups for us
no, actually
for daily assignments like that?
yes. You can, from your end, you can take any one ownership. Wait for tomorrow's session. Once the tomorrow session is done, right, then we will finalize the one link for everyone. That is a permanent link. Then we can create. Okay.
Okay,
What is
sir.
right?
Okay.
Then we
Yes,
will.
thank you.
Yeah, we will work out on that. Okay, guys. Anybody have any questions so far? Okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Time. We'll see then tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll see what are the documents we need to follow. What is requirement specification? What is BRS? What is FRS? So that all we'll see tomorrow. Once tomorrow is done, then the link will be changed. The permanent link will come, so we can continue our regular session. Thank you, guys. Thanks for your time. We'll see tomorrow. Thank you, guys.